Okay, so the hidden cancer in business, the offshore shadow mafia, and how to fight it. So I've had multiple occasions, both as we were growing our own company, with our clients, with some of my friends. I've encountered situations where there was an underground business being run within the business that the owners had very little oversight, control, or awareness of, but ultimately was at odds with the goal of the business owner and undermined the effectiveness of the organization. So I want to talk about how we as Americans and Westerners can understand why this happens, how to overcome it, because I've never seen any videos or posts on this topic, but it is a huge problem behind the scenes. So in Mad Men, if you guys are Mad Men fans, there's an episode where they compete for Honda's business, and this is China or Japan, the culture shock. So Dawn reads a book called The Chrysanthemum and the Sword, which was written after World War II to help Americans deal with doing business in Japan. So the book talks about guilt versus shame cultures, and the core message I believe is still accurate today. So guilt cultures orient themselves in around an ideal, and what you want to avoid is violating that ideal. Like a Jewish guilt, Catholic guilt, Christian guilt. So the feeling of guilt, sin, doing something that you know is wrong. And our stories reflect that. When you think about the stories we grew up with in America, everything from Jonah and the whale, from church and synagogue, Top Gun, Pinnochio, and the Jiminy Cricket, Crime and Punishment. A lot of these things are about thinking big, whether you have a big dream or you're thinking about God and then doing the right thing in the face of tremendous pressure. Even our redemption stories, in the Western tradition, Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights is not really just about Heathcliff and Catherine. It's about their kids getting together and healing the trauma. And Count of Monte Cristo are about rediscovering our relationship to the ideal after going astray in our quest for it. So it really dominates our mental landscape. Shame cultures orient themselves around relationships, family, reputation, honor. So the worst thing is the feeling of disgrace, of being shunned by society, being exposed to a liar, a coward, a fraud is the worst thing that can happen. It's why it was normal in Japan, for example, for businessmen to dress for work. They leave the house for 12 hours. They just go to the public library for months because they don't want to tell their family they lost their job. So the rest of the world also is far less idealistic than the West, especially America. The rule of law is weaker. Life is harder. Corruption is stronger. People are a lot more pragmatic and cynical, and social and family ties matter a lot more. So as a result, they can often look at, especially young Americans, as happy idiot business colonizers who do not understand the dark realities of life and how things really work. It doesn't help that most of these Americans would fire, or many of them would fire all of their employees and replace them with AI if they could. And people can tell. So you can understand in this context that it's normal and accepted to lie to preserve someone's feelings or someone's reputation. And this can quickly lead to a shadow company focused around hiding poor performance and protecting your friends. And this happened to us. We promoted somebody that we shouldn't have. They were misrepresenting results and neglecting to train or communicate with clients properly. This person also had built a network of friendly relationships of people who vouched for him, and it made it very difficult to uncover the truth. So we caught it very early, but it was very difficult because we had to retain the loyal, hardworking employees, quickly purge and replace the disloyal ones, and while also building systems and a culture to make sure it never happened again, while the company was also growing quickly. So here's what we learned from it. So the first thing is you must measure everything. It's not enough, for example, in cold calling, you can't just record every call. You also have to have a sales manager listen to every call. The callers benefit from the observer effect because everybody likes to be watched. Salespeople in the beginning always complain, and then they're like, "Do you see what I did there? Do you see that meeting? Did you see that move?" So they hate it in the beginning, but then they love it. At worst, you just catch the bad actors always exist, but they're really easy to catch. And you also financially incentivize the behavior you want. So whenever a client is like, I want the caller to be more aggressive or less aggressive, we actually alter the incentives. So if you compensate the callers the same for an email lead as a booked meeting, you're going to get a lot more email leads. For us, we value one booked call as 10 email leads. So you get a lot more booked calls. And we also shame doing the wrong thing and abusing the system. So I have a hilarious story where the caller asked me, he's like, listen, I'm getting so much, I'm booking so many meetings. Why should I just follow? I can exploit the system and do this. This is a great caller, by the way. Why shouldn't I do that? So first thing I said is like, listen, the incentive structure is never going to be completely perfect, completely aligned, completely everybody's happy with it. But I said, listen, why shouldn't you sleep with your friend's wife if she's really beautiful and she's attracted to you? I'm like, the thought should disgust you. Doing the right thing, loving the game, it has to be more important for you than just winning. Like the purpose of fighting is to fight the good fight. It's more important than winning. And I've certainly relaxed with the language since then. I think I earned myself like 5 HR violations that day. But the point stands. You have to shame not doing the right thing. Liars also have to know they're going to be exposed. There's an arrogance to people in teams who lie about numbers. So I was talking to my father-in-law. I said there was a guy in his firm who was going through a horrible divorce, and he lied about his billable hours. The lies eventually became so flagrant that they fired him. In his insane arrogance, he contested the firing, and now his name is in the public domain for committing fraud, and he self-blacklisted himself from any reputable firm. If you measure, you will always catch them because they always double and triple down. They can never stop with one lie. They always have to do more. It's like a crypto trader. They always go broke. And then you build an honor culture around excellence. So you create this sense of pride. Like a good honor culture is like a winning football team. It's like the New York Yankees. Like honor and pride and fighting for your team will make somebody work harder and better than just avoiding guilt. So our employees know that we will always back them, even if everybody else turns against them, if we know they're doing a good job. So you want to use the best of both. You want people to feel guilty when they do the wrong thing, and you want people to feel proud when they do the right thing, and you want them to fight for you, and that means you have to fight for them. We pay our callers more, we give them holidays off, we respect their traditions. It's all part of the game. I hope some of this was useful, and have a great day. I'll talk to you guys soon.